Well, it's official. Anyone that has a power save now has access to AZ's Floette, Volcanion, Hoopa, and I believe something else. I don't entirely remember exactly off the top of my head. I do know that those three, however, are currently now available on power saves, so that's gonna spell trouble for a lot of people that just play against other random people or whatever. And I mean, I'll admit I do have a power save, partially just for cloning. That's about it. I mean, I also have the R4 dongle for transferring up, breeding parents. I do use methods that aren't exactly considered legit when it comes to my own personal games and my own personal save files. Like obviously, it's used just for that. I don't ever take things like Megaladios, Megaladios, Volcanion, Hoopa, AZ's Floette, or anything like that into like an actual battle where everything would be considered serious unless the other person that I was battling was fully aware that I was using them. I also think that there was some other kind of event that they added on to the power save too. I think there was some kind of Rotom in Japan that they added as well. So obviously they're kind of done as wonder cards, but they don't what's it called? They're not official. Obviously they're fake wonder cards. That's how they are placed into the game basically for you. You receive every single one of them at level 10. You can either get them as their shiny form, or you can get them as their normal form. Of course, if you get the normal form, just because maybe you don't trust the shiny form for the code or whatever, you can still shiny them with one of the other codes that the power save obviously has. So I mean, if it's something you wanted to test out with maybe a friend or something, because if you know a friend in real life that you can infrared trade them the legendaries too, then I mean you can like playtest different legendaries, stuff like that. If I hung out with a lot of people, maybe I would actually consider doing that. Have like maybe them use a legendary, like maybe Hoopa or something, and then me use the other one they're not using or something. Like for example, Volcanion for me, and then like my so-called friend who could be using Hoopa or something. I don't know, something like that. But I don't know. All I know is, it's going to be interesting to see how people do this, as well as the fact that there's also going to be the fact that everyone has to potentially be wary of these things appearing in just random Wi-Fi battles through maybe the PSS or something like that. Because I mean, let's be honest, who doesn't play Pokemon X or Y and just have these random people trying to like battle or trade you via the PSS? I mean, to put this into perspective, back when Twitch Plays Pokemon was a really huge thing, I had changed my PSS message, the little thing that whenever things come up or whatever, or if they click you or something, they can see the message. And yeah, my little message was literally just basically Twitch Plays Pokemon, and I had so many people trying to trade me, I had so many people trying to battle me, all this crap, and this was around the time that they had been doing, actually it was around the time they were doing X and Y. Because they were thinking, maybe that person is their game, maybe, things like that. And they were constantly just trying to trade. Trying to battle, everything. I had people sending me O powers, which was actually beneficial at the time, because, I mean, when you think about it, if you get any kind of O power for the most part, whether you're level grinding, EV training, or whatever, I mean, added experience maybe, capture rate in case you happen to be trying to catch a certain Pokemon for something. Like, it was very helpful when they would give me O powers, but when they would just try and trade over and over and over again, as well as try to battle me, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know about you guys. I did personally get a Volcanion for myself as well as a Hoopa. No, I can't be giving them out. They're obviously not going to be allowed over the wireless function rather than, the infrared. If you lived literally next door to me and didn't have a power save, yeah, I would hook you up with one. Don't, think I wouldn't. But obviously I can't because they're not legitimately out yet. They're not, the game's little code doesn't say, okay, this thing is officially out now, so you can trade it. Diance's obviously officially out now. You can actually trade it with people and, whatever, but you can't really do that with Volcanion and Hoopa, or even AZ's Floette for that matter. Not that anyone should really care about the AZ Floette. I mean, the AZ Floette you can't even use the Ebulite with, if I remember correctly. It does not get that boost. And on top of that, the Light of Ruin is a massive recoil damage move, kind of like Volt Tackle. I believe it takes out, if nothing else, or like half your health. So it's just not something I really recommend. I mean, I don't know, maybe you could do like an Assault Vest version. I mean, obviously it's still kind of tanky when it comes to special defense, and depending on what tier it gets placed in when it's officially released, it might actually prove to be very, very viable. But until then, I would say not. Also, fuck Final Gambit. You couldn't see me, but I was flipping it off even though it was already dead. It just decided to do that. But whatever. Either way, I make another little bit of a mistake here. I don't know why I did this. I decided to go for Waterfall, and the second I clicked Waterfall, I instantly knew, you know, Flame Body is a thing. And knowing my luck, yeah, Flame Body, that burn, free damage on Samurai, hooray! So I guess after this battle we'll be healing, but whatever. I mean, it's not really, you know, that much of a bother really. It's just annoying really. Also, Gastrodon is really, I mean, really, I don't know. It's a good Pokemon, don't get me wrong. Gastrodon's always been a very good Pokemon ever since its release. I mean, having the immunity to water while at the same time being completely destroyed by grass types. I mean, as long as you played it smart, or if you were playing against anything that wasn't sun related, then you were pretty much fine. So, I don't know. I mean, when Generation 5 hit, and rain teams and sun teams and all this other crap was just all over the place, I mean, really? Now, the funny part about Gastrodon was he was actually good on both teams. He was actually good on both sun and rain. When it came to rain, you could get rid of their fire moves, you know, weaken them or whatever. You can switch it in on mirror match teams, like opposing rain teams. I'm tongue-tying myself here. But yeah, like, it was good on both. I mean, when it comes to the sun teams, yeah, your water moves would be bad, obviously, because they'd be reduced by the sun. But you could always run things like Earth Power, you could run Recover, you could run all kinds of just, like, you could run Recover, Protect, Earth Power. And of course you would still want to use a water move just to have that stab water move in case your sun got interrupted by another weather condition, maybe sandstorm, maybe, you know, again, rain or hail. Though of course when it comes to hail, obviously you would want to get the hell out, because usually the only inducer for that is, you know, Abomasnow, and being part grass, I think you would want to get the hell out. But yeah, there's also the fact that you could stack it with a hidden power. It could be hidden power fire for the opposing Abomasnow if you wanted to. You could, you know, just weird things like that. It was a very solid Pokemon at one point or another, and in Generation 5 I would say it was kind of tied with use between it, Tentacruel, and Jellicent. Jellicent being a very excellent wall. Same kind of goes for Tentacruel. Of course, Tentacruel was also useful for setup. It was able to set up like toxic spikes. I don't remember if it got access to regular spikes. I don't think it did, but I mean, it still had the ability to throw up, you know, the toxic spikes. It was able to rapid spin hazards from your own field, I think, unlike the other two. So you know, they all had their little gimmick that they had when it came to Generation 5. I personally used Tentacruel because Tentacruel had the rapid spin, it had the toxic spikes, it had Protect, it had Rain Dish, and it had, you know, Scald or Ice Beam or whatever moves I felt like using, you know. I did use Jellicent for a while as well, but all it was really was a tank, and I'm sure that people just heard a computer thing on in the background. So it's great. But yeah. So I don't know. By the way, I can just feel this lag. By the way, I didn't really know what I was gonna do here. My Lucario wasn't exactly set up for a very good, you know, it just wasn't well placed. In fact, it was kind of completely off when it came to this, but that's just me. I went for the close combat on the cast form, just high damage, whatever. And of course, I went for, I believe, Petal Dance. I don't remember because I wasn't paying much attention. Giga Drain. I wonder how much damage I would have done if I had gone with Petal Dance, because as you can tell, I did a lot of damage with that Giga Drain. A lot of damage. I actually didn't expect that. Don't know if that means that my level difference is what's contributing to that, or if it might be my IVs. Maybe I got a good set of IVs on her. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with that, but whatever. Either way, Lilligant's always going to serve us well. But, I mean, whatever. Lilligant's always been a very, very solid Pokemon, and always kind of will to me. At least I see her as solid. I mean, a lot of people look at her and go, wow, she's literally just a glass cannon. She can fire off a 120 base power stab move, and from there it's like, okay, what do you do if it gets outsped, if it gets completely destroyed by a fire type or a flying type or a poison type or whatever? Like, I don't know. I've always played it in well, not always played it in like every freaking team, but I've played it on a lot of teams that she's been tiered in, and I've never really had a huge problem with her. If you play her smart, then you're usually set for it. It's kind of the same thing that applies to Diancie, believe it or not. It's a very defensive Pokemon with almost no HP and no speed. So, I mean, here's the cool part. It's going to be a lot better when it comes to its Mega. Of course, that also takes away its item, making it probably better to be utility and offensive at the same time. Probably. It's probably going to be like a Wish Protect type of thing, where you do that, maybe Toxic, and then probably, I don't know, Moonblast or Diamond Storm, depending on whether or not you invest more in attack or special attack. But, I don't know. I still need to figure out what I'm doing with my own Diancie. I mean, everyone's getting their Diancies now. For those of you who did not pay attention to what I said, I think either yesterday or the day before, that event ends this Sunday, so you may want to go to your local GameStop or various other methods of getting the code, of course, and making sure you at least get one, or at least find a friend that can clone it for you or something. So, I mean, I don't know. But, yeah. I mean, don't see why you wouldn't. I mean, Diancie's Diancie. It's a really cool Pokemon, if nothing else, but outside of that, could do a lot better, really. Now the Mega, of course, that's a bit different, but that's, you know, the Mega. And yeah, I've been watching a bunch of stuff, by the way, in regards to, you know, the whole Mega Evolution thing, and there's been a lot of talk about there may not be any more revealed Megas. I mean, we are literally like a week away. I think a week from tomorrow will be OmegaRuby and AlphaSapphire. So, I don't know. Like, it just feels like, or not a week from tomorrow, a week from the day after tomorrow. I keep forgetting that today's Wednesday and I feel like it's Thursday to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I have an appointment to go to tomorrow. I don't know. But, either way, we're literally like a week away from the game's release, and obviously there would be more reveals by now. I mean, if the Korokoro hasn't been out, like come out yet for this month, then there may still be time for a few more reveals. And there's also the fact that I believe it was Delta Emerald that was trademarked. That's still something that we may see sometime, maybe in the midway mark between the first half of like in the first half of 2015, like between January and June, of course. So I don't know, we'll have to see. I mean, there's a lot of big things already coming out early next year. I mean, Majora's Mask is probably the biggest title they're going to release in the first quarter of 2015. So I mean, I don't know about everyone else. I've talked about this in the past few episodes, especially the day that it was released, or the information was released, and I guarantee you I'm going to be getting it. And if my next Let's Play ends before that thing comes out, guess what? We are going to be doing Majora's Mask, most likely immediately upon release. So, I mean, something that we can all look forward to, I suppose. Anyways, considering we're almost out of time, in the next episode we're going to continue through the Moor of Icirrus and make our way back to Open Lucid before we get started on Kyurem. So, yeah, be sure to stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and until next time, this is the PokeGamer, signing out.